Hey everyone, welcome back to Psychonauts. Last time, we got our Marksmanship Learner's Permit so we can finally learn how to fight. Like we don't already know.
I'm sure you could find a more productive use for that skill, Rasputin. Impressive. Now release.
Okay, I got it. Check it out.
Excellent. Well, my ass is covered. Are you sure you are ready to do this? It could be dangerous.
Yes. Are you gonna pull me into your mind like the coach did?
No offense, but it's time you saw what an organized mind looks like. Welcome to my mind.
It's so empty. I mean...
There's more here than meets the eye, but I've learned to keep it under strict control, and that's what I'm going to teach you. Control your feelings, your fears, your anger. You must learn to control them, focus them, concentrate them, and release them.
As therapy?
No, as firepower. Say something hideous and horrible jumps out at you. Something so disgusting that it simply must die. So tacky. I can't look directly at it. But I control those feelings. Focus them, concentrate, and release. And the world is a better place. Your turn.
So, we just got to destroy the lamps, huh? Well, fire's not gonna do it.
Yes, we all know you can punch things. But you're supposed to be learning how to use your Psyblast now. Try it without punching.
Psyblast is pretty basic.
Well done, Raz. Keep shooting. Well done, Raz. Keep shooting. Excellent. A victory for good taste. Now you must strive for precision when targeting. Say you were set upon by multiple attackers. But you need to dispense with them in a certain order. Eliminate these monsters in the proper sequence, and we can move on to the next lesson.
Alright, so we gotta aim for the middle one.
Good. Again. Good. Again. Now then.
No.
Is this what you saw in your vision?
Well, it sure seemed a lot bigger in my head.
Problems often seem larger in our heads than they really are. That's an important lesson to learn.
But...
This is a sensor, an integral part of any sane person's mind. The sensors roam through your psyche, looking for thoughts that don't belong. Hallucinations, manias, waking dreams. The sensors hunt them down and censor them out.
why do they come after me? I'm not a mania.
Yes, but you are a foreign entity in my mind. You technically don't belong here.
Yes, but I was attacked in my own head.
Yes, well, the brain tumbler could be malfunctioning, or you could be insane. We'll test for that later. For now, blast it. That's the spirit.
I killed it.
It was just a thought I was having, and it's not dead. It has just returned to its basic form, raw psychic energy. Go absorb it. It's good for your mental health. As you absorb this energy, your mental health increases. But as you Psyblast, you expend your will to do damage. So be on the lookout for these small, dense clusters of raw psychic aggression. Absorb these as well to make sure you always have enough firepower. Now I'll leave the machine on for you, so you can practice. You have to blast 1,000 sensors to earn your Marksmanship merit badge. Come back every day for practice, and you should have enough in as little as 3 weeks.
3 weeks? I I only have a few days to earn all my merit badges and become a Psychonaut.
Slow and steady wins the race, my eager young friend. Now practice, slowly and carefully.
Oh, man.
I've never actually sat at this part for long enough to blast 1,000 sensors and see what happens. That would pretty much take forever. But this cube is kind of like a Mario Galaxy world. You can walk off the edge and land on another edge, and if you jump when you're crossing from one edge to another, the physics do some really weird things.
This is gonna take forever. I wonder if I can speed it up somehow.
Well, that machine in the middle is pretty obvious, but first, never use the smelling salts to exit a level.
Man, these things smell terrible. Am I sure I want to do this? Yes, I want to go back to the real world that badly.
And he falls on his back. Now, of course, Sasha expects you to do this, so when you return to him, he just lets you back into his mind without any questions. And nothing changes about the scene, of course.
Now I'll leave the machine on for you, so you can practice. You have to blast 1,000 sensors to earn your Marksmanship merit badge. Come back every day for practice, and you should have enough in as little as 3 weeks.
3?
Slow and steady wins the race, my eager young friend. Now
Alright, so we're certainly not going to be able to blast 1,000 of them unless we speed up the rate at which they appear.
They're coming out faster, but still not fast enough.
Then we'll turn it up to the top of the green area.
Still not fast enough.
He doesn't really wait to see very many of them before he decides it's not fast enough, but I can kinda see his point. And since they infinitely respawn here, you can get a whole lot of arrowheads pretty quickly. Not as quickly as using the dowsing rod, of course, but quick enough. Yeah, just gotta be careful because they are dangerous. And he's getting pretty impatient because there are a whole lot of them around, and this is about as high as the machine goes without hitting that skull.
Still not fast enough.
Alright, he wants it.
Uh-oh. Oh yeah, come to Papa.
Raz, what have you done? This is not control. This is chaos. I'll try to fix it. You stay here and keep the numbers under control.
So this is where the real level is, of course. And it's made of a bed and a whole bunch of floating building blocks, it looks like. We'll see some interesting imagery as the level progresses, and of course, lots of sensors.
Rasputin, see those valves? That is where the sensors are leaking out. Psyblast the valves to shut them down and get this area under control.
Yeah, we'll do that, but first there are a whole bunch of figments and a vault right here at the start of the level. Eventually I'll manage to cut the thing off, it just keeps going around in circles. So it seems like the death of Sasha's mother made a really big impact on him, even though he was still a baby at the time. Or maybe because he was still a baby at the time. We don't need to sit through the animation every time we get a piece of baggage, and it's our first cobweb we can collect.
Got it.
Every cobweb is, of course, worth 1 card once we get back to Ford Cruller's lab, but I'm not in a hurry to leave the level in the middle to go do that. Let's just collect all the cobwebs we can, grab all the figments. It looks kind of like a tombstone or something. And I want to make sure to grab all the baggage. Each bag is on the same face as the tag is, so that'll help us find them. And this trail of blocks over here allows me to jump onto the top of the bed here, and that's where the hat box is. So more figments on these blocks just kind of hang off the edges into space. As you'll be able to tell, there are a lot of parts of this game where gravity sort of doesn't apply as much as you'd think it would. And I think that's everything on this side, so... yeah, there are 2 valves at each of the faces of the cube. So just in case I missed anything, like this figment way out here in the out-of-the-way corner, I'm not completely cut off from it. I should try to avoid walking too close to the edges though, because the camera sort of swings wide as you hit the edge, and that's disconcerting to say the least. You can use just about any psi power you've got against the sensors. You can pick them up with telekinesis, burn them with pyrokinesis, or even just punch them to death. But Psi Blast is what I'm supposed to be learning here. Unfortunately, I don't think I can target the valve from quite this far away, despite that being the point of Psi Blast, so I've got to get closer. At least make sure there are no sensors between me and the valve.
Good. Well, you got them all.
Of course, you didn't think the level was over just like that, did you?
Oh no. You close one leak down and another springs up. Well, come on. We've got to take care of these too.
So this phase seems to consist largely of one of those mobiles that hangs above babies' cribs and keeps their attention by spinning around. I know this isn't the right way to go, but I wanted to check each of the other faces just to make sure. I don't think there's anything, but you never know. And these things, I think the only thing I can relate them to is those little displays that they use in shoe stores to hold the sample shoes. And we've already got sensors shooting at us. The sensors, of course, pretty much always say no whenever they see you, but these guys will actually shoot the no symbol at you. And it hurts. And it's annoying, it'll knock you off your feet sometimes. Not a whole lot of fun. This area, you're not actually supposed to get all the figments the first time through. They're placed in very inconvenient locations, and it's much easier to just come back to this area later once you're more able to get to them. But I'm not going to do that. The mobile does swing close enough to this platform to allow you to jump onto it. Although, that sensor is out of my range, but I am still within his, so I'm going to have to keep moving around to dodge his projectiles the whole time. This is something you only do if you're not only a completionist, but a completionist in the earliest fashion possible. Especially since if you miss your jump, you gotta climb up all the platforms again. And fight off the sensors along the way. Just to have another chance. Although, this is a shortcut I discovered. If you jump from the adjacent side of the cube, you can make it up onto this platform right before the end. It'll save you a lot of time if you decide you really, really must go this way. And since that's my first life lost within a mental world, I finally get a tutorial on the astral projection layers that function as extra lives, more or less. The secret is you gotta watch the uppermost arm of the mobile, wait for that to swing as close to you as it's going to, and then jump to the lower arm. You can kinda see it from this angle. And, of course, you've got to jump a little bit ahead of time because it takes you a while to get over there. I'm going to skip that figment for the moment and get over to these higher ledges, just because from here it's a lot easier to jump back to one of the upper arms, and that'll take me to where I want to go a lot faster than trying to go all the way around yet again. And I still almost missed. But close enough. And there's an astral projection layer to restore the one I lost. Not that it matters all that much at this point, but it's definitely a good idea to have as many as you can get. You can complete this phase in almost no time if you just go for the valves and don't worry too much about any of the figments, or you might want to go out of your way to get the purse at the very least. Getting all the mental baggage is, of course, worth an extra rank, and the more ranks you can get early on, the stronger you're going to be. So here we get a grind rail made of measuring tape and a big stack of shoe boxes, stacks of tins of shoe polish, and another new enemy type. The little red guy you might have seen shooting out of the center there is some kind of suicidal grenade bomber. They run up, and when they get close to you, they'll explode. They'll also explode if you manage to kill them, and this is the thing that I was looking for before. I've never seen the vault run onto a different face of the cube before, ever. But hey, it works. The game's not broken or anything. So what I think is going on here is that when Sasha got older, he was curious about his mother, since she died when he was so young. His father wouldn't tell him anything about her, so he decided to pry with his second sight. Saw his mother through his father's eyes, sexually, and was so disturbed by it that he ran away from home, couldn't bear to look his father in the face anymore, and ultimately developed an obsession with controlling his thoughts, which I don't know whether he blames himself for that, or he blames his father for having those thoughts and allowing them to be seen. It also seems to have given him a kind of fear of intimacy, but we're not going to see that just yet. Just something to keep in mind, I think, as we move into later parts of the game. For now, it's time to move upwards, having collected all the figments on the ground. And the valve, the first one is right down here, and the second one's going to be pretty convenient as well. But there's a lot of more figments to collect. And more baggage. Obviously there's only one more bag left, and it's going to be on the final face of the cube. I don't know what that bomb guy was doing, but it's kind of unusual to miss the grind rail. The physics in this game are not always perfect, but they get the job done, and you know, you pay a bit of a price, I think, for having such weird and varied landscapes. As you can see, grind rails don't always go down. Sometimes they go up. And I can't get to the top of the stack of shoeboxes, but there isn't actually anything there to collect. So I just gotta make my way down here, grab the cobweb on the way, and make sure that I don't miss anything on this face, because once we complete each face, obviously we can't get back to it until we've completed the whole level and return here through the brain tumbler. Of course, if you get everything in the brain the first time around, there's no need to return, but I'll be doing that anyway. So that should be this face cleared. I don't remember whether the figment display tells you figments just on the face you're on, or throughout the entire mind, since, in a sense, this is all just one giant area and not 4 separate areas. Well, we'll find out when I get to the end whether I missed anything. And yeah, enemies can approach you during the cutscenes, and it can be really annoying, but they're generally not too big a threat. You know, maybe you'll take one hit, but if you've been ranking up with any frequency, you've probably got plenty of brains by now. Now, to be honest, I have no idea what the heck is going on with this face. All the flames everywhere, and the figments look a lot more like gears, and a couple of them look like secret agents in trench coats. So I assume this face somehow represents Sasha's life since he joined the Psychonauts, where the first 2 faces were his childhood, and the third face was his time working in his father's shoe store, as you might have seen during the second vault. I really don't understand what's going on with this face. So if anybody's got any clues, let me know. Meanwhile, I just want to make absolutely sure I've got all the figments here, because if I've got all of them, then this mine should be 100% cleared. That's all the figments, and the last of the baggage. And I already got both of the vaults, each mine's got 2. The Palm Bomb is unfortunately not entirely effective against these guys just yet. We'll get there. And there's only one valve on that face.
That's it. I've completely blocked off all of Sasha's sensor outlets. I can't wait to tell him.
Young man, I hope you have learned a lesson here today.
Yes, I have. That shooting things is fun and useful.
No, that once you lose control of your own mind, it's very hard to get it back.
Yes, one's thoughts must be 100% controlled at all times.
Well, no. Actually, if you try to completely suppress your undesirable feelings, they'll build and eventually explode.
Oh, so, what would happen if you were to, say, completely block off all your sensor outlets?
Well, there would be a buildup of sensor energy within that would, eventually... run, Rasputin. Very fast. You are my own creation. I command you to stop! Rasputin, it's time to earn your merit badge.
So here we get our first boss battle. And it tells us how to move around while locked on, which is pretty common by now in 3D games.
Enough horseplay, Rasputin. Destroy him.
Well, I would, but you might have noticed I shot him and he recovered the health almost immediately. I need more information, so...
Bacon.
Yeah, Ford gives you a couple of options.
Agent Cruller, do you have any advice on the current situation?
Those little sensors seem to be restoring the big guy's health. You gotta shut down the leaks the little sensors are coming out of.
Need your analysis on a hostile.
What kind?
What if there's like 1 million tiny sensors all over you?
Ah, the palm bomb. Just jump up in the air and then punch. You'll come down so hard those little guys just pop like popcorn.
What about those sensors that shoot stuff?
Oh, you gotta grab those guys with your mental focus lock. Then you can jump left or right to avoid their shots, while side-blasting them from a distance.
How do you fight sensors?
Anything works on those guys. You can punch them, side-blast them. It's fun to set fire to them or confuse them, too. Pick them up with TK and throw them. Make yourself invisible and sneak up on them. Lots of fun, those guys.
Have you ever seen a plant with eyes and teeth?
Oh, yeah. The kind that's impervious to attack when it's curled up? Hate those. You gotta walk up just close enough to wake 'em up and then side-blast 'em real quick.
Did you know that this camp has a bear problem?
Oh, not just any bears, but bears that have been mutated by Psychonauts. Now they know telekinesis. When you see that TK claw come out, you have to dodge it quick. And side-blast those bears from a distance, or set the tails on fire.
You've been very helpful. That's all I need.
Good luck.
So, now that he's told us, not that we necessarily needed to be told, we just need to blast the sensor valves that are in the center of 5 of the faces.
Rasputin!
And stay out of the way of the Mega Sensor's attacks while we're trying to do it. He has trouble navigating the edges and corners though, so I'm at a bit of an advantage there.
The small sensors are feeding into his strength. You must stop them.
Yeah, I kind of already got that idea.
Put me down!
Those little sensors are re-energizing the big ones somehow.
Enough!
Yeah, the game really wants to make sure you got that hint, and I lost track of which face the last one is on. Fortunately, the high jump kinda takes me out of reach, so I can use it to my advantage a little bit. He really doesn't navigate the edges of the cube well.
Ow!
There's the last valve. So now we're down to just a regular boss fight with a health meter. And he gains a new move, rolling these boulders at me. And they move in kind of a weird pattern too. He doesn't throw them straight, he always throws them off to one side or the other. So that can make them even more difficult to dodge. But fortunately, the little sensors haven't stopped coming, they just stopped refilling his health. So, if I'm ever in need of a quick health upgrade, I can kill some of these guys. And like Ford said, the palm bomb is particularly effective when there's a big group of them. They drop lots of health, and I'm sure they drop ammo too. Which I kinda need, because I'm running a little low. I'd love to burn some of these little sensors, but I don't think I have the time. You have to stand still for quite a while to use that move. Usually, I think palm bombing a whole bunch of little sensors is going to give you more health than you're going to lose from being in one place for too long. I'm trying to target the big sensor, but you can only do that when he's on the same face as you, so otherwise it just resets the camera to in front of you. And I guess he died when I wasn't paying attention.
So, is this where I get a speech and learn another lesson?
No. Here's your merit badge. Let us never speak of this again.
And he stays on his feet this time.
I want to shoot more things.
Okay, enough about my mind. Let's stay out of my mind for a while. Let's just go back into yours, huh? Step up to the brain tumbler when you're ready.
I want to shoot more things.
Okay, step up to...
Alright, we'll step up to the brain tumbler when we're ready, but unfortunately, we've spent a lot of time in Sasha's mind today and don't really have time to pack in yet another mind. And there are a few things I'd like to take care of before we go back in there. So join me next time when we will be going back into Rasputin's mind to find out what the heck is going on.